All right, guys. I'm going to go over each one of the questions that you have. I'll read them out for you. Let's take a look at number one. It says Don works 18 hours a week. Which expression shows a good way to use rounding to estimate how many hours Don will work a 52-hour work week, right? So you're going to round each of these numbers and see which expression works for that. Find the product of 21 times 40. I don't care if you use turtle math. I don't care if you do a little array where you do 20 and 1 and then 40 groups of 20 and 40 groups of 1. The product of two factors is 2,000. One of the factors is 50. What is the other factor? So 50 times what equals 2,000? Okay, essentially what you're doing there is dividing. That's what we just did, right? Okay. Select all of the expressions that are equal to 260. We talked about this. This is 230. You got to do each one of these and see what the answer is. And then all the answers that amount to 260, you select them. A florist, that's the word there. Someone who works with flowers, that's what a florist is, makes centerpieces. He puts 18 roses in each centerpiece. Which is the best way to use compatible numbers to estimate the number of roses the florist needs for 24 centerpieces? What is the exact number of roses? So compatible numbers, what's 18 closest to? What's 24 closest to, right? We sort of already worked through that. Which one of these expressions shows the easiest compatible numbers? All right, number 6, it says Margot hiked 12 miles 13 times last month. Oh, man, thank you. She hiked 14 miles 12 times this month. Okay. Draw arrays or area models to find out the number of miles Margot hiked during the past 2 months. All right, so the first thing you'd have to do, so they want write and solve the equation. Okay, so the first thing you would want to do is, I'm just going to give you this one thing. So there's what you would do, just both those. So 12 miles 13 times last month. So you could do, you will do 13 times 12, right? All right. So you would do an area model for that, right? And remember, 13 will go down this side, right? And then 12 would be 10 and 2. And don't forget to put a 2 down here. All right. You do one then for this one. And you're going to do the math. Don't forget to add up all your partial products. Okay? There you have that. Let's keep going. Right? They want you to give your answers, right, and solve the equations down here. So you'll get your arrays here, divide your box up and do both the arrays there. And then just put your answers down here. We talked about this one, right? We have Liz makes necklaces. Each has 16 beads. Use the numbers in the box to complete the table. All right, here are the numbers in the box, as Rocco Rakowski pointed out. All right, so we know the first one, you're going to do 10 times the number of beads, 16 beads in each, 10 times 16, you get 160. Then you got to do 30 times 16 to get this one, right? But now we got to do 16 divided by 800. What times 16 will give you the product of 800, right? And the answers are over here in this box. So you can kind of work that out through your head and estimate. I don't think you're going to do 480 16 times, right? So be smart about it. All right? So that's for that one. Number 8, Justine's plant shop has 7 shelves. Each shelf holds 18 plants. Suppose she adds 2 more shelves to the shop. Write and solve equations to find the number of plants all the shelves can hold. Check if your answer is reasonable. All right, so 7 shelves. Each shelf holds 18 plants. So she's going to add 2 more shelves. I mean, come on. That's 20 times what? Right? Times how many shelves? Or no. I'm sorry. That's not 20. She's adding 2 more shelves, right? So it's going to be 7, 8, 9, right? Times 18 plants. But does it say, do they ask us to estimate here? You could do compatible numbers, maybe, probably to do that, right? So you can multiply this doing you can check your answer using the uh, turtle math, right? But you can also do compatible numbers. What's that closest to? What's that closest to get a quick answer, right? All right. Number 9. Jack's Landscape Service charges $78 to plant a tree. What is the total cost to plant 18 trees on Tuesday and 23 trees on Wednesday? Write and solve the equations. I got to tell you, we don't care what day it is that they're planting them. We just want to know how many trees they're planting, right? So don't you need to do something like this to start with, right? Right? You got to figure that out first, right? Then you're going to take that answer, whatever it is, times the cost, which is $78. I want you to come up with what the answer is here, okay? Which of the following uses properties of operations to help find 27 times 14? Oh, nope. Yeah, I see one. I see one that will give you that is it's basically the same as that. What you could do is solve for each of these. To check it, you could solve for 27 times 14. You could solve for that using turtle math, right? That's a really bad turtle, but turtle math. Find out what the answer is and then solve for these, right? Or if you just know, you know. Lauren drew an area model to find 19, which is here, times 15, which is there, right? Right there. Remember, the 5 goes down there as well, right? All right. Write the partial product for each rectangle, okay? That's fun. Boom, 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 boom. Right? All right. You got it. The biggest painting in art show is 31 inches long and 20 inches wide. The smallest painting is 14 inches long and 11 inches wide. What is the difference between the areas of the 2 paintings? How do we find area? Area equals length times width. There it is. I gave you a nice little nugget there. I'm going to do it again up here. Area equals length times width. Do we have the length? Yep, 31. Do we have the width? Yeah, 28. Which means we should be able to solve to find the area, right? All right, you figure out the rest because you're going to have to add some of that stuff up or you're going to have to subtract. What is the difference? The difference, when you hear the word difference, that's subtraction, right? All right, moving right on. Raising money. I'm going to tell you right now, all the information in this chart, you need to look at this chart and read it first, okay? Beehive candles sell for $20 each. The class raised $12 for each candle sold. All right. Soybean candles sell for $22 each. The class raised $14 for each candle sold. All right. All right. It says the 4th grade students at Skyline School sold candles to raise money. The money raised will be used to buy toys for children who live in group homes. The candle fundraiser table shows how many candles each class sold. Here's Mr. Lee, here's Miss Schmidt, Miss Picard, and Miss Goldwasser. About how much money did the fourth grade students raise? And explain. All right. So here is the number sold, right? Amount raised. So what do you need to do for each of these? Okay. Right? You need to get what that equals, right? For each of these. Don't you? And then you need to add that up, add all the totals up to get the total number of money raised by the fourth grade. The school secretary needs to know exactly how much money was raised, right? About how much money did the fourth grade students raise? So it says about how much, which means you can do what? It means you can round and estimate, right? You could do compatible numbers or compatible numbers, right? So 30. You could do simple math to get these answers quick. 30 times 10, 25 times 10, I guess. 20 times 15, 50 times 10. Just to get quick answers, right? But that'll be up to you. Or you round, or maybe you just do the math without rounding. The school secretary needs to know exactly how much money was raised. How much money did Mrs. Schmidt's class raise? Use an area model and partial products to find the product, all right? We're talking about Mrs. Schmidt's class right here. Miss Schmidt, right? So it would be 25 times 14. Now your area model, you would do right here, 20 and 5, right? 10 and 4 here. Don't forget to put the 4 down there. You guys can handle that. Part B, how much money did Miss Picard's class raise? You could use distributive property to show that, right? So distributive property, remember, I'll show you what that looks like. 18 times 14, right? So let's do 18 times 14, right? So you're going to do 10 and 8 times 4, and you're going to do 10 and 8 times 10. And you'll add up all the partial products, which there should be 4 partial products to add once you're done. Part B, how much money did Miss Picard's class raise? Use distributive property. That's right down here. That's the distributive property that you're going to use down here, right? How much money did the fourth grade students raise? Explain, right? I already showed you what you should do here, right? You're going to need to multiply each of those and add them up. All right. Part D, is the total amount of money raised from Part C reasonable based on an estimate you did in one? So whatever your total answer is here, is it close to the estimation that you did up here using comparable numbers or estimations, right? All right, well, there it is. That is your test or your practice test explained question by question. I'm posting this video right now. Hopefully it's useful to you, and I'm sure it will be.